Empire, how are you doing?
We're fine.
Everything good.
We've not eaten this morning.
You've not eaten?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's take this one.
Okay.
Obia Benyani share.
Yeah, fine day.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to be food.
Brother, no, so they count away.
It's not complete.
It's not complete. Well, in our discussion this morning,
it's not complete. I'll say our discussion. Our discussion is
Nana Kwame also. So Nana Kwame.
Do you even have something with you? You
know get some.
Okay, let's go on.
In our discussion this morning, VGMA should create a category for bands, and this is coming from the Lipstick Queens. I remember last weekend they performed for the 93 and 94, I think 92, 93 year group of the Akuras at the, I think they did it at Achimota Clubhouse, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, they performed there, and there's something unique about an all-female band. The Lipstick Queens, I think they have is a 7-man band or a 7-woman band.
I think so.
Yes, 7 or 8. Yeah. Yes. All-female band, and the leader by the name Sita Kole is saying that the Lipstick Queens, they have called on the organizers of the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, that's the VGMA, to create a category for Ghanaian bands. She said on Showbiz A to Z on Joy FM, hosted by my brother Kwame Dazi, that including them in the award scheme will go a long way to motivate a lot of bands in the country. She said that the VGMA board should not use songs released by the bands or their popularity to assess them for consideration, because the bands don't have albums. They are saying they are not going to be recognized at all because they don't have albums. Are they saying that we don't go consider them? Well, I would suggest that different criteria be made out for the bands that are performance and not because they are composers and bring out albums. She told the host, that is my brother Kwame Dazi. Now, she further noted that even with the individual artists that usually get nominated in the scheme, not all of them compose their own songs. So it is not a big deal if the band does not have a song on its own. For me, I would say there should be a criteria for bands that bring their own albums and those that play or perform or play covers of others. That is what she added. Well, to my team in here, I think I'll start from Kwame Dazi. You hosted you hosted the whole band, right? Or you hosted the leaders of the band. Okay, yeah. Your take on this one?
I think they have a good concern. I understand why almost everybody wants to be part of the VGMA.
Yeah, I think
it's the biggest award scheme, the most relevant award scheme,
most consistent
for the past 25 years, and so it's not surprising that somebody or everybody wants to be part of it. Just a few weeks ago, we heard the dancers saying they wanted to be part of it. Mm-hmm. Dancers,
yes,
they want to be part of the VGMAs
and DJs.
We have to be part. So people want to be part of the VGMAs. It tells you that VGMAs is doing something right. Apart from all the bashing. Now, if you look at the VGMA and how they operate, it's a popularity-based award scheme, which means that you need to have had, let's say, a hit single, EP, or an album in the year under review. But look at these bands. Most of them don't release their own songs. Most of them perform other people's songs at programs. So you go to a program, you see the band performing, they are singing, for example, songs, Amachi Dede, covers. They are doing covers of songs. Now, for a scheme like the VGMAs, it would be difficult for you to be nominated if you don't have your own song or a recorded song in the year under review. Now, there are a few of these bands that are releasing their own songs. For example, Chin Chin Band. They released an EP, I think, a year ago.
Okay.
Kwampa also released an EP.
Yes.
And even in the past, Kwampa had nomination in the VGMA for Group of the Year because they had hit songs from, and then I think traditional Artist of the Year category as well, Kwampa. Now, with those releasing the songs, like Fra, you they feel the vibe.
The song hit too.
It be hit, right?
It blew.
But imagine if a nomination is being done in the VGMAs for the bands, and you don't have a lot of these bands having exceptionally hit songs in the system. How do you nominate them? Only one or two of them in the category. And that's the reason they rested the Group of the Year category at the VGMA. For 2 years now, there is no Group of the Year category in the VGMA because, you have maybe one or two groups excelling.
But is that supposed to be... is there a cutoff or a starting point? As in, let me put my words right. Do we need a certain number of groups in order for the category to be voted on?
It makes it quite, how do you call it? Competitive, yeah?
No, but if the year under review, there are so many groups, but one perform exceptionally.
How many music groups do you know?
No, I know a lot of music groups.
Okay, mention them.
Not bands, but we have still brothers are still performing. They have
brothers.
Yeah, they have a song out.
Brothers, Floking and Kuntak.
Are they not a group?
Are they still a group?
Yes, they are still a group.
Brothers are still a group.
Yes, they are still a group. They have a song. They have a new song out. You are not searching for them.
I've not heard it.
Because you are not looking.
How did I hear the previous ones?
Because it was popular. But they are still working.
If it is not popular,
if
it is not popular, how does it qualify them to be part of the award scheme?
So relax. You asked if there are still groups in existence, and I'm telling you,
are they releasing hit songs?
What? How would you classify? Or what's your parameter for a hit song?
A hit song is one that is almost everywhere. That
okay, so but they are still working. You said that
on the streets.
You asked the question that how many groups are still around.
You just mentioned one now.
So I'll go more.
Mention more.
There's still Asaka.
Okay.
They are releasing, right? We still have Lamem Gang. I think recently RJZ posted an artwork of them coming back together for a concert and all that. So there are still groups. So if the year under review, two of them are seen active, would that mean that, Charlie, we need, like, let's say 5 for the category to be available, or should be added back to the scheme?
I don't
know
for
the
number. VGMA. So the VGMA gave a reason, as in the strength of the groups and the song they were releasing. A reason they had to rest that category
for 2 years.
For 2 years. So maybe moving forward, if they see that there is any improvement in how they are performing, they may bring that back. Okay, so I brought that in to build up to.
So for 2 years, are you trying to tell me that the Asaka Boys have not been a vibrant group?
Now, did they even see themselves as a group in the beginning?
No, but they are a group we already know.
Did they?
No, but we already
in the
know
beginning.
How? Where from
in the beginning? Did they see themselves as a group in the beginning? You tell me.
They are a group. Asaka music group.
Because in the beginning we understood, we were told they were not a group.
But we've seen them perform together in the
But I can perform together with you on stage even if we're not a group.
No, please, I beg you.
There are movements and there are groups.
So Asaka is
are they a group now? If that is the case, educate me. I want education.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Are they a group now?
They've always been a group.
I'm saying this because in the past we were made to understand they were not a group.
No movement.
See, they have solo albums.
Good.
But they are also a group. Same way.
That's the education I need, because I had always seen them as that movement until recently I saw them doing things as a group.
Same way brothers are a group. Same way Lamem Gang are a group. But then we can have, like this morning we played the tune from Darko Vibes. Darko Vibes can release a solo song, but then they can come together, form a group, and then still release songs. It's
back to the band points.
Okay, I'm listening.
Back to the band point. Bands are also groups, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So this is what I'm thinking. If the VGMA board can consider maybe bringing back the Group of the Year category, including these bands that are doing well, and that would mean that Fra, for example, who have song like If They Feel the Vibe, could also pass for that category because they are a group. Or they could still create a category for the bands separately, because maybe they want to help grow the band system, live performers in this country, because these bands, apart from even their own performances, also do carpet performances for individual artists. So they could maybe come up with a criteria to tell which band deserves to be part of that category, apart from the popularity base. One thing that mostly becomes the challenge for the VGMA board is the fact that it is popularity, and so if you're not popular, you don't pass for that category. But there are other technical categories in the VGMA, the industry categories, where they don't really take into consideration the popularity of the artist or the song. And so maybe we could have another category created in the technical aspect, which will take into consideration other things apart from whether you released a hit song, EP, or an album. And that will be the judgment of the board and the academy. So this is what I'm telling the board to consider when they go for their meetings. They are doing some reviews in the categories. And Robert Clark is here. Maybe as we keep talking about this, they will listen. Because to me, I love the fact that we have bands. A lot of them now in the system.
But don't you think merging bands with
the
groups, maybe recording groups, because I mean they are still two different entities, one way or the other. I mean, one is in the live performance.
I get you. But to me, if they want to, or if you want to put them together as a group, they're still a group. Because we had Bethel Revival Choir even getting nominations in the group category. So if you have, let's say, Fra Band being nominated as a group of the year because of maybe their hit song, they feel the vibe. There is nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying that award schemes can also be agenda-driven entities, which would say that, okay, we want to set an agenda by helping grow the live band industry.
Preserve that culture.
And so we want to create a category for bands, live bands alone. And with that, they may try to maybe separate that from the group of the year to give it a different category. I'm just saying. In the absence of that, I still think that the bands form part of groups. And so if they don't want to give a separate category for them, they can just maybe put them back together to the group of the year and bring that category back. Now that you tell me Asaka is an established group making waves.
I'm not the one to tell you. I'm not.
You're educating me.
I'm educating you that they're still a group.
That's what I'm saying.
They've been a group from day one.
So thanks for the education. Now that you're educating me that they are now a group and they are doing so well everywhere in the world. And we have other groups like Brothers also coming in with their hit songs. And we have Keche releasing some party song recently and all that. Maybe VGMA should consider bringing back the group of the year, which may include the bands.
Ria, your take on the Lipstick Queens?
Well, I believe they are making a very valid point because bands have always been part of, the music industry. They create their own rendition to songs and they also make their own songs. My mom's time, we grew up with the Ramblers and the very, very on points group. You understand? They have their own songs, they create their own renditions, you could also call them high life pioneers and all that. So I believe, yes, they have a valid point, but as to what criteria they will have to fit in to be able to be nominated for the VGMA, thank God Robert is here, so he might probably enlighten us a bit on it, but I feel like, they should be, because comparing it to other award schemes outside the country, I know that, I think, was it the Grammys? Have for even choirs, for bands, for choir teachers, and choir directors and all that.
For the Grammys, I think they have instrumentalists of the year and all that.
It's not received on stage. It is more of like industry award kind of thing. So it could start from there. You never know where to. Bands help even our own artists perform on stage when they go perform they perform live. Okay, and they need instrumentalists, and some of them need like the music just playing in the background or the instrumentals. But the people that need bands and backup singers and all that to kind of need it. So, hey.
But do you know a couple of bands in the system right now? Do you have?
I listen to bands, but I don't know their names. But I've gone to events where I've seen different types of bands. There are bands that, in Ghana here, I know that there are bands that go for funerals. They do the more of the folklore kind of music. And
Nana Tebri.
Yes,
type of band.
well,
They have a lot of female songs.
yes, and then they are the ones that go for weddings. They are the ones that go for weddings that do the R&B, that do. But there are bands that are also, they do everything you ask them to do. So there was this show on TV3 that was called Bands Alive.
Bands Alive, yes,
where
yes.
different bands came from different places in Ghana to come and compete to see, like, to find the best band. You know, there's so many.
Well, but I'm sure if it's being considered for the VGMA, one of the things that would be headache to the scheme would be the patching. The patchment that they do a lot in the band's arena. Most of them, you have some keyboardists from one side, they in one band, and the man named D. Then you will find that same keyboardist is some be part of another.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
sure
one woman in the Lipstick Queens.
Yes.
She plays for the Drumona traditional band. Yeah. That woman who plays the percussion.
The parchment in that arena would be one of the major headaches. But let me hear from Martinez. Martinez, your take on the Lipstick Queens.
Yes, I agree with everyone that it's a good call. And I really love what they're doing, especially being.
Have you seen them play before?
No, I've not seen them play before.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard about them so many times. I have not been to a show to watch them perform before. Yes, but coming together as a team, solely women, is good. It also gives a different feeling to the game. We've always been watching men perform all the time, and sometimes men and women mix on the stage, performing together. But to have all women affair doing something amazing, I think we need to commend them. And so what they are saying, we have to take it into consideration. My only worry is the fact that they came out. That the fact that they do not have album doesn't mean they shouldn't be concluded. A band shouldn't be concluded if
no. But they were saying that I think the story goes like let me see the part.
No, so what happened was that.
Okay,
so
we
brought in the issue of popularity of song or maybe albums.
It being one
and
of
if,
the
if they even have those songs.
Yes.
And they said that shouldn't be the yardstick to measure
whether
they should be part of the scheme or not.
Yeah.
But they can create a category to suit them.
Live performance,
just like that. The fact that they play at programs, they could just create that category to say maybe you played at more programs or you did so well. You get it. So not because you have a song or you have an album.
But it should be based on the popularity of the band.
Yes. So according to Sita, she wants the VGMA to put all these into consideration, not just the hit song or the album or the EP. You get it. So that if you don't have even a song or an album, you still qualify to be
the
part
year
of
under review. If you've been vibrant, if you've been moving
you perform
around
shows, you back Sarkodie at, let's say, Rapaholic, or so that's it.
So they should look beyond the album.
Good.
Yes, I get it, but it's also important if they have albums as well. Because in 2020, I think Sun Trophy released an album where Alewa, as a band, definitely you should have a certain catalog. It shouldn't just be like performing other artists' song or just doing covers and all of that.
I'm not cutting you. I think it's very important because in the past, all these bands that we knew, the Ramblers, they were mainstream. They were mainstream. These mainstream hit songs.
Was a band,
but it appears the bands we have now are doing songs for niche markets. If you listen to Chin Chin Band, solid production, but the ordinary person may not really appreciate the songs they do.
Where ordinary means?
Ordinary means people who want to listen to commercial music. You know, boom boom cha. You listen to the guys, the kind of music they do. It takes somebody who really loves music to the core to like their songs.
Oh, okay.
Yes, even Santrofi.
No, but Santrofi does a lot of, if I'm using your category definition, they do a lot of commercials.
Are you sure?
I mean, the typical one is the one they did with, the one they perform with episode, that is Unyamebra. I mean, it's a typical commercial
and to me, that is why Unyamebra is not as big as Atia.
Explain.
Listen to Unyamebra. It's also high life.
we will get time for you.
And if you listen to their compositions, mainly they do the Sichi and the Kwao sort of high life music. If you listen to the kind of high life that
are you saying that type of high life is not commercial?
Type of high life that episode did, the Yamponsa, there are certain types of songs or music forms that are easily relatable, to the ordinary person. Because ordinary person, I mean somebody who easily imbibes music. There are certain songs. If you play all their songs, I mean Santofi, all their songs, and you don't really like music, you will not like it. And so listen to the episode rendition they did. Obra. If you love music, you love it. If you don't, it will be difficult for you to relate to that song as you did to
How
Atian.
different is that song from Atian?
How well is that song doing as compared to
No,
Atian?
but there are different times and I mean
So
different
what do you think? What do you think?
different times and different
What do you
promotional
think may not have
strategies.
that song up as it did for?
I mean, let's not forget that there's also an extra star power when it comes to the first one, Atian, that features Kwabna. And after that, he did so many renditions. He actually released a whole set of projects based on different renditions. Most of them did not make it mainstream, but they are still on the EP. I rely. I mean, so the Kwabna factor could also be.
Listen, this is what I think. The Atian song had very catchy chorus. Very relatable chorus.
Because I have that here.
If you want, that's last week. I think Beats Minister something on Showbiz ATC that if you want a song to really hit, as in hit, your chorus should be very simple, and it should be one that the ordinary person should be able to relate to. I see the Ob Onyamebra as too technical of a song.
It's too technical.
It's too technical of a song. Because of the people involved. The people involved they are music. They are through and through music people. Santofi. And so they try to do that thing with all the technicalities, the trumpet, bishaha. You get it. And the chorus isn't one that you could wake up in the morning and be singing to. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. And that is one thing that Kwame Eugene usually uses to get people. But the chorus will catch you. Also, Atian don't could be per se. Sing the chorus of Onyamebra and let me hear you. Sing it.
No, but I'm not the standard.
But sing Atian don't cook chorus.
That one self, I don't know.
You see, you know.
I don't know.
But one that readily comes to mind.
So, I don't know.
One that readily comes to mind is one that is very simple, catchy, for you to relate to. But if you do any song and you want to show that new music, I understand. It's also good to tell people your music side. They're not technical. The trumpet be but
what if the project was meant for people that appreciate that type of music?
It comes back to what I'm saying, that there are certain songs that are meant for the mind only. For the mind only. Not for the feet.
Can we listen to the two songs?
So can I learn before, or we should listen?
Let's listen to the two songs.
Not so I hijack it time.
Sorry.
Music from episode. This one is Atian featuring Kwabna. It'd be far more better than you say.
I didn't say better. I said this one did well, popularity wise.
But well and better, what's the difference?
No. If you say better, it means maybe the composition and all that, as in the music itself. No, I didn't say that.
So make we not drag you in that corner.
How
Okay,
you go?
anyway.
I'm just here.
Anyway,
You can't misquote me.
Obra is music from episode featuring the Sun Trophy Band. Welcome back to the studio, and there are several questions that we're asking ourselves. Maybe if you did other renditions of the song, it would probably be as big as Atia, or maybe could it be that the episode did not promote Obra enough? These are some of the questions that we'll be talking about or answering in the studio. But then you land.
He didn't finish.
Yeah, make you land,
I
and then I'll get
for cutting in.
Oh, it's okay.
These days you are taking a very, very, very notorious stand. In the studio, you'll finish and then I'll
so clearly we could all see the work the bands are doing, contributing massively to the music industry. And for me, like Kwame said, Ghana Music Awards the biggest awards night.
Most consistent.
In fact, if you have that recognition, it takes you far. And so some of them performing outside Ghana, raising the flag very high, it's very important. They have that grounds here. They have that recognition here. And it doesn't mean that maybe the VGMA had decided to sideline them. So a call like this is to create awareness, maybe for that consideration. Because I believe that there is no way a good call will come and the board will turn it down or overlook it. Especially when we always talk about high life, the way to go about it, fuel our heritage with regards to the high life. And so if we are projecting it, then we have to include the band. Again, my only problem is the fact that Sita spoke about album, that it shouldn't be the
based on,
Yes, it's very, very important that if you're also coming to the table to have that discussion with the board,
you should also put in some form of energy or some form of body of work.
That will make it very concrete. That wouldn't make the band look ordinary because there's a criteria. It's not just about the renditions and the covers or maybe the popularity alone, but also having an album gives you that strength. It solidifies the work you are doing as a band. If Sound Trophy and Co are able to release that kind of works, then they should also do their best to have it so that when they come to the table, they can base on that they are working very hard. They have the album, maybe the album doing well, going on tours and all of that.
They have a couple of singles that are also doing well.
Exactly. So that is my only concern. But above all, it's a good call, and it wouldn't be bad having them, perform on the night, seeing them, they have that links. They've been doing that across the country and also working outside the country. So it's not a bad call. I mean, if that category is open, there are a lot of bands that will get that recognition, that will come. Like Ria said, you see some performing at pubs and all of that. So there should be that space for them as well.
Well, I'm sure Robert will educate us a little bit, because I have a question for Robert Clark as the PR for Charterhouse, and I would want to find out from you, sir. I mean, what are some of the things that, or how does it take? What does it take to create a category in the VGMA? Is there a process, or how does it work?
Okay, so thanks and good morning to everyone doing the listening in the voice of Martinez. I mean, I had to do that because I'm seated here.
Yes.
So the VGMA as it stands is focuses on authors, composers, performers. You have and when it comes to the performers, you're looking at even their vocals, because you can look at performers as an artist,
yes,
and then you can also look at their vocals in terms of what they're doing with respect to their delivery. Then you also have directors who are considered as part of the video component that goes out with respect to music, and then you also have the engineers who also play a role in terms of mastering, and then you also have the producers. So the producers, you can also call them the composers, because they're part of the composition aspect. Those who also write the lyrics are in there as composers as well. So all of those elements are captured. So these are like people who create the music. So they are part of the chain in the creation of the music. Anybody else that you can see in terms of when it comes to the DJ or dancers or even if you're talking about the bands, unless they are creating, then they are like outside of the creation, the stakeholder group. They are like promoters of, or consumers, or something of that nature. So if anybody wants to make a strong case as it stands, once you are able to make a case from the perspective of a music maker, it's way easier, because then the focus is
then you fall into the creative.
Exactly. I mean, clearly you're making the music, so I mean, it's way easier to be able to consider you. So once you step out of the music space in terms of the makers, then we are going into the space of maybe promoters, and you realize that once you give the green light to X, then there's grounds for why.
DJs will also come in, and
but it doesn't mean that it may be a wrong call, though. But all I'm saying is that I'm just trying to explain, the dynamics involved. If your question was about what it takes
to create a new category in the VGMA.
Yeah, so once having given this background, you realize that if there is a particular area that lacks, then ultimately there's a need for that area to be focused on in terms of those who create, right? Then there's also the question of, if it's going to be created, you have to look at whether you're looking at it from the artistic perspective or you're looking at it from the commercial perspective. Commercial perspective, so there are 17 categories that deal with popularity. So the popularity, we are even the popularity component is about the song and the artist. And then we come to the technical components, and the technical components that exist, and then we have the honorary aspect as well. You understand? So all of these three specific areas are responsible for what makes up the totality of the award categories that are usually awarded. Now, when we even say award category is not necessarily equal to a genre. A category can be made up of multiple genres. Yes, just so that at the end of the day. So
probably maybe songwriter of the year, we still have somebody doing dancehall in there.
Or let me use reggae and dancehall. So we have a reggae dancehall category. It doesn't just stand for reggae. It doesn't just stand for dancehall. So it's you
so you can be an artist in one genre, you produce one song that qualifies you to be in that category, right?
What I'm trying to say is that a category in the VGMA may include more than one specific genre or one specific sub-genre, if you understand what I'm saying. So our category can represent multiple sub-genres, and that is what it stands for. So that's just a scheme sense, and you have that across several schemes in the world. So it's not just the VGMA, so to say. So to create something to create a new category, obviously the call is good. So when somebody submits a call, then you look into it. If it doesn't If it meets the current standards, it's easier to work around. If it doesn't meet, then you find ways and means to be able to project it. So I think for me, it was more of the listening. So when you guys were having the dialogue, I wasn't going to step into it. I'd want to listen and see if there's any merit.
Okay.
And then it becomes easier to be able to table it for conversation. And when it's tabled, and at the end of the day, it doesn't. There are two things that can happen. Actually, let me even say three. They may have you go through, or you may be on a consideration table, which may not necessarily mean that it will be implemented immediately. It may be for a later date, or it may be implemented. Or it may not be implemented because maybe it's not a good fit for the categories that or the bylaws or how the operations of the scheme work.
Okay. So but looking at bands as well, I mean, one of the custodians of Ghana's culture, I mean, looking at the impact or their contribution, let me say, from those that perform at funerals, they've been able to hold conversation or songs from way back and still vibrant these days because we still get to experience them. Do you think it's a good call or something that still needs to be polished?
Okay, so to say that, I will need a little bit more information to be able to understand the space.
Okay.
So maybe I may know a few people playing here and there, but if I don't have enough info about the space, it's difficult for me to say that something needs to be polished or whatsoever. If whatever is happening falls in line with what we are doing, it becomes way easier. But then the question you also want to ask yourself is this: if there were bands who were playing in the past, what were they doing? Were they churning out music?
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, so if most of the bands were churning out music, would you want to say that then the bands should at least try to also level up? You understand what I'm saying? So if your entire existence has been on the fact that you probably are doing music, but you are doing the music that everybody has done, your business is to produce is to play what somebody has done.
Are you adding up to?
Yeah, so we are recognizing on what basis? Is it because you are performing their songs, or because you created the song? I don't know.
Because you are a good copycat.
So like that's one. Because if you see Santrophy right now, Fra played the vibe.
Yeah, that's right.
So clearly you realize that okay, they've leveled up something in that particular space with respect to commercial music. You understand? And Santrophy, I think I watched the conversation. I watched on social media when the conversation was happening. They were talking about their songs and they were questions about how people jump to their songs when they perform in Ghana and compared to outside. And then the hard question was asked: are you saying that people don't jump to your song because they don't like your song or because you haven't well promoted your song? And that was one of the biggest points in terms of when he was making his submission. Because you see, the songs are good, but how well are they promoted? You understand what I'm saying? Because, if you promote them. So if you promote it and people jump at it, at the end of the day, Charlie, we go feel the vibe. But if
we go feel the vibe.
But if it's not well promoted, it doesn't mean that the song is good. The song may be good. It's just that a lot of people don't know it. And when that happens, then what it means is that in the scheme, again, you may only have opportunity for appearance in certain areas. Maybe the record of the year, or what do you call it, the songwriter elements and stuff like those are the things that you begin to fall in. But if you're looking for the popularity categories, it becomes difficult for you to be considered because the basis of that whole thing is even dependent on popularity.
So as it stands now, if I'm right, kindly let me know if the bands in existence right now start churning out songs and albums, it would be something worth looking at as the VGMA level, or the VGMA would want to consider them in an already established category, something like maybe the group of the year, or you feel let's create a new one for bands. Has that conversation ever come up at
So I think
Charter
even
House?
Kwame mentioned at some points that in the submission that Kwampa.
Yes.
Would you classify Kwampa as a band?
Yeah, they are a band.
Yeah, so then in that case, they have had their fair share. You understand what I'm saying? So and the group category, once you're a group, you're there's
group.
a particular aspect that allows you to be able to feature. But if we had a lot of bands, then you realize that you could make a case for bands only, because you're saying that you are artists who basically are constantly playing things live. You know, this is you. You're on string. Somebody's on the percussion component. Somebody's on the organ. They come together and like let's say Afro Harmonies making a case and Characters Band making a case. All of them are like we are producing, and so
we have an album.
They are distinct. They are unique. So you want to treat them differently from that kind of stuff. So it's those things you can always make a case for it. The scheme has never been one way. It's always been evolving, and that's why there were certain categories that were not part of the scheme from the beginning, and they are now part, and some the change. So there's always room for additions. I mean,
I have a question for Robert.
Okay.
So he's been talking about popularity, but we know there are other categories in the VGMA that are technical based. Can't we create a category for these bands in those categories, as in categories that are judged by academy and board only?
Oh, well, it can. So the question is, then what's the criteria? So then we have to get into that particular
performance.
That's what I'm saying. That
assuming they have songs, EPs that are not out there, big songs, can't we put them in those technical categories?
Yeah, I get you. But what are you evaluating? That's all I'm saying.
They're songs.
Yeah, on what basis?
Production.
So you are evaluating based on production. Yeah. So then, how about the various categories that exist that focuses on production already? So we can put them there. Because the scheme has that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like record of the year.
Yeah, it's there. It's not like we have to. If it's vocals, they are qualified to be in the vocals. It's there. It's not like it's not there. If it's a producer, we want it's there. If it's songwriter, it's there.
But I'm sure maybe Sita was maybe at the back of the mind trying to see if the scheme could consider a category that would promote the live band culture and still make it vibrant and attractive for new or the youngins to also follow suit. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, I get you. Except that it's nice what she's saying, and I'm not going to kick against anything. I mean, the ultimate thing is to listen. But then obviously when the conversations take place, the things will be evaluated. So so that has been heard. The only thing I'm saying is that as it stands, the scheme has got areas that they can have some of their works put in there, unless they don't have works.
Okay.
You understand? If you have works, your works can be accommodated by the scheme as it stands.
As it stands now.
Currently, And yes, some reviews have also been done. So I'm sure those reviews that have been done are also looking at people who are musicians and they are paying their dues in the space, not necessarily, based on popularity or anything, that kind of stuff. So those things are still being worked on. I'm sure once we come out with our final list, it becomes easier for people to understand what's going to happen from the 25th anniversary.
Okay, we would like to hear from our listeners this morning, something that we don't usually do. 054-884-1039, 054-884-1039. You can give us a call on this particular subject, or 03022-16568 or 03022-16567. Phone lines are active. We want to find out from you if you think it's a good call by Sita of the Lipstick Queens to include bands in the next edition of the VGMA. Probably maybe just consideration. I was thinking maybe if the VGMA or the scheme considers it, Charlie, be something where it will encourage people to still get into the live band culture. But anyway, this morning we're still giving out our 500 Ghana cedi. We did the first one at 9:55 exactly. We're still giving out another 500 Ghana cedis. Star 281 hash if you've not played, a chance for you to play. Star 281 hash. That is the way to go. 500 Ghana cedis up for grabs in the next probably 2 minutes. Yes, star 281 hash. Just jump in or give us a call 03022165668. Martinez, put down your phone. Well, let me get to the phone lines and speak to Nana. Hello, Nana. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Well, your take on this issue, real quick.
Yeah, it's necessary. I mean, I think we should do away with the popularity bit attached to it. Look, live band is good, See, it's good. Recently, Black Prophet was interviewed on your show. Production is live. That album of hate, the live production. I think they are enough. If only they will look for them, they are enough. Oshamiko made that live production. Walasi that live production. They are all there. They are there. So I would say I don't think there are not enough of them. They are there. They are there.
Well, I don't know if you follow the conversation. Robert was of the view that there are still categories that captures all these things. They are in existence. So if it's live production, producer of the year, and all the other categories, instrumentalist of the year, all these things are still captured.
But you see, you ask the question again. Just the one you just said, right? Let me say something.
Well, the PR is in the building, and he said, these are not my words. He said that there are still categories out there that captures these things that you're talking about. So if you're talking about live production, that means we are looking at producer of the year category, right?
So are we? So like you said, producer of the year. Yeah, it makes sense. But you see, is it only the producer that work on that body of work? I'm
sure a producer in that case will mean the production team, as a matter of fact.
So that award will go for all of them?
Most definitely.
Well, I guess. Let's see. But it will make a lot of sense, especially the live productions. It shouldn't be popularity context, because right now the fast food we are consuming, not, I wouldn't say it's not bad. Some of them are good. You can have fast food, but in a good quality. But some of them are not. Most of them are not live production. But we still have a lot of live production in the system. So that one there, you have enough to create
create a category.
Yes, to create a technical category for them, to encourage them to. So many that's live productions. I mean, the names, it keeps coming up in my head. So, am I lying? So many that's live productions. Are they live? Exactly. So they are there, Robert. They are there. A lot of them. So that's my little contribution.
Thank you, Nana, for joining us this morning. Well, you can also come through 030226568 or 030226567. You can join the conversation. And I'm sure maybe he's also talking about the fact that if there's a production team of live producers who does live, the scheme could also consider a technical category of live producers. Adilai. We all heard him. Yeah. I'm trying to deduce from what he says. Maybe he's thinking of live producers, a category for live producers. How different would that be from the other producers?
What is live production though?
I mean, analog recording. Black Prophet said that in your seat last week or last week.
But don't that also fall under record of the year category?
I mean, the song would fall under record of the year.
Yeah, it's qualified to fall under that as well. So,
anyway,
because if you are not careful, you end up creating some unnecessary categories.
How?
If you are not careful.
How much is?
That's as if we are not careful.
He's cautioning us.
See, if we are not careful.
Has there ever been an unnecessary category in the VGMA before?
I'm not saying there has been unnecessary. But I'm saying that if
in your view, that means you feel that there's been so give me one example of one unnecessary category that
like we said, this one falls under record of the year.
Are you trying to say the group of the year that they took off is an unnecessary category?
It's not been taken off.
DJ Slim!
It's not been taken off. It went off a little bit.
No, we rested it because we didn't have the numbers that we could work with. So if there are numbers in this coming year, it's there.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
it was rested on home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we get to the phone lines and talk to Majid. Majid is the winner of our 500 Ghana cedis. Congratulations, Majid. Hello, how are you doing? So I want to hear. I want to see your shouting. No.
I'm not going to shout again. I'm not going to listen.
Let me see your shouting.
Yeah.
Some pastor will say, "Put your one fingers in the air." How excited are you, Majid?
Charlie, I don't know if this guy.
You have 500 Ghana cedis on your phone right now, right?
Yes, right now.
What plans do you have for the cash?
Oh, Charlie, now the old people say.
You the old people, eh?
Oh, no be smart. Now the old people.
So you want to clear your debt?
Charlie, this is what you do.
What do you have to tell people who've not played yet? How many tickets did you play?
It be real.
How many tickets did you play?
I could say today I could find this pair. What in my mind?
I
could say for last week.
One ticket.
But, today there be one pair.
Fantastic, man. Thanks a lot for joining us and also for playing this morning.
Thank you. I'll do more.
Most definitely. Thanks a lot. Still Hits FM. Well, as we wrap up, real quick, let me go through the room. Robert, final words to our listeners out there with respect to the scheme. I mean, I'm sure maybe some level of consideration, maybe of some of the things pundits said. Some touch your heart. Maybe you could table them in your next meeting, or maybe some touching heart. Because I saw him putting a few things.
Everything usually asked for, regardless of the answers I give to it, I always make sure I still take it.
Okay.
Because it has to reach the ears of the decision-making outfits, and then they will make the call. You realize that I didn't say yes, I didn't say no.
Most definitely.
The only thing I've always been saying is to, yes, I'll take it. And I give explanations based on what exists as of now. Like right now, if you go, what does it mean? This is what it means. So I give an interpretation of what exists. But the decision as to whether it will happen or not is not mine. So.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Robert. Thank you, Kwame Dazi. Thank you, Ria, for joining us this morning. And my brother Martinez. Showbiz Review proudly brought to you by Vodafone. Vodafone are saying further together. Betway for the love of the game. Franco Trading Enterprise, Launch Avenue, Angel Cola. And also our sponsors, Alpha Cracker, Access Bank, Awake Purified Drinking Water, Unidas Condom, U Plus Love, Gel, Ghana AIDS Commission. MTN is saying everywhere you go. Cora Wearables.